right, so fifth to eighth grade, and I'll let you guys.
Thank you. Okay, so we are nursing students here at the local college. I'm Ashley, this is McKenna, and Brittany. And is this working? Okay. So we are just have some really basic winter safety tips to talk to you guys about. Here in Alaska, we have some special concerns during the wintertime. We have pretty extreme cold weather. We have ice and snow, more darkness than a lot of places. So just some special stuff that we have to deal with here in Alaska. So I'm going to start by talking about transportation and travel. For folks your guys' age, motor vehicle accidents are the leading cause of injury and death. So this is a special concern for you guys. And that includes accidents where a kid might be in the car, or where a kid might be walking on the street and he might be hit by a car. So I'm going to start by talking about what you should be wearing when you're walking outside. Could you turn off the light? Okay, so if it's dark outside, who are you going to be able to see better? Obviously, McKenna, right? And if you're a car with my headlight, which one is reflecting the light better? Yeah, McKenna. Yeah, exactly. So, thank you. So, if you're walking outside, you want to be thinking about what color clothing you're wearing. White's another good color. It's going to reflect the light really well. I'm sure this will happen to you guys when you're riding in the car and all of a sudden there's someone on the side of the road who's dressed in black you didn't see at all. It can be really scary as someone walking on the street and as someone driving. So think about that. And also, just some quick things about when you're walking near cars. Always use the sidewalks if they're there. Don't walk on the side of the street. That's all you can help it. Use your crosswalks. Don't jaywalk. And if you're using the crosswalks, try and make eye contact with the other drivers. Make sure not only you see them, but make sure that they can see you. And never run across the street. It's a great way to surprise a driver. Always walk slowly with purpose. And also, during the wintertime, we get a lot of ice and snow on the roads. So make sure you're walking carefully on the ice. Walk with purpose. They say you're supposed to walk with so like not rotating your feet a lot. That's when you're gonna fall. So walk slowly, waddling. And if you can get ice cleats, if we've had rain that's frozen, we can get really, really icy sidewalks. So those cleats that wrap around your feet, they can be a really good choice. Also, your choice of footwear. So you want to wear boots if you go outside that are insulated, waterproof. If your feet are wet, so just choose the right footwear. And I'm going to break it up for a minute. I need 4 cheers. Come on up. We have some reflective tape, and then I'll have you guys put it on the sweatshirt where you think is the best place to have reflective tape when you're outside in long class. Come on up. Just put it wherever you think is the best spot for it. Okay. Nice job, you guys. So, pretty much there. You want 4 surfaces covered in reflective tape. So you want back, front, side, and side, ideally. So cars can see you on either side. Good job. Thanks, guys. Nice. Okay, is anyone in here 13, 14, 13? Okay, so anyone looking to get their driver's permits? I know, right? Not yet? Okay, cool. So, I'm sure you talked about with your parents. It's a big responsibility. You're responsible for the other drivers, for all your passengers. And in Alaska, if you have someone in your car who doesn't have their seatbelt buckled, it's the driver's responsibility to make sure they're buckled. You can get a ticket, even if you're buckled as a driver. If your passenger isn't, you can get a ticket as a driver. So, a lot of responsibility, but also as passengers, you have to take responsibility for your own safety. Make sure you're buckling your seatbelt all the time. Pretty basic, you know this. But one thing to keep in mind, if you're wearing a lot of heavy winter gear and your seatbelt is not very against you in that gear, you might want to think about taking off that winter gear because you want your seatbelt snug against your chest and your seatbelt not right against your chest. There are a lot of spaces to go over. So something to think about there. And also, you want to make sure your seatbelt is on your belly or long around your shoulder. And you want to make sure your feet are flat on the ground, your back is into the back seat. Don't put your feet up on the seat or on the dashboard. That's a really, really good way to get injured in a car accident. Has anyone ever been in a car accident? Or been in a car when it had mechanical problems, broke down? Yeah. And has it ever been winter time when that happened? Yeah, it's cold, it's dark, it sucks. Did I say that? And some things that can make it safer, make it easier, make sure you have extra gear in your car. If you're not already wearing clothes and boots, make sure you have clothes in the car, boots in the car, snow pants, hat, gloves, maybe even a blanket. Also, you want to have a light source in your car, so a flashlight or a headlamp. And if you do have a flashlight or headlamp in your car, then make sure you're checking the batteries because if you have batteries in the cold, it kills the batteries really quickly. So check those batteries regularly. If you are going for a long car ride, maybe you're going to Anchorage, you want to make sure you're telling someone where you're going and that they know how long it's going to take you to get there. So if you're going to Anchorage, there might be bad weather in the past, snowy roads, you don't have cell service. So make sure you're telling someone where you're going so they can say, hey, they were supposed to be here 3 hours ago. Maybe I should check in on them. And the last little tidbit I have about travel is if you're riding with someone other than your parents, guardian, grandparents, make sure your parents know who you're riding with. I'm sure the school has some sort of protocol for picking kids up, but not just at school, out in the community. Make sure your parents know who you're riding with and that is okay with them. That's all I have for travel. Pass off to Brittany.
Good. Are we awake yet? Maybe. I don't know either. So do any of you walk home from school? Okay, maybe. Sure. On your long trek home, we're going to talk about just some considerations when it comes to animals. Maybe you walk to a friend's house. We live in a great state. There's lots of opportunities to be outside and hang out, but we do have some considerations. We've got moose and bears and caribou and wolves and all the neighborhood dogs running around. But locally, moose and dogs are a concern. while you're walking home or if you're going to a friend's house, that's something to be aware of. There are 200,000 moose in the state of Alaska, and they're everywhere. Crazy. So, if you see a moose snacking on the side of your walkway on your way home, what do you think is a good thing to do? Good. You want to slowly walk away. Moose aren't normally aggressive, but they can be. If you saw a moose with babies, that can make the moose kind of angry. They might think you're trying to hurt the little one. So you want to walk away slowly. If you think a moose is going to charge you, what should you do? Perfect. You want to run and hide behind something big, because a baby moose, even a baby, can weigh 500 pounds. And that is pretty big for a baby to be coming at you. So they won't normally charge. They'll try to run at you to scare you away. But if they keep running, you want to hide behind something. You're a lot quicker than a moose is going to be. So hide behind something big if you can. Run away quick. I'm sure you guys are also fast. So those are two good things to do. Should you ever feed a moose? No. It's actually illegal, and if you get caught, you can get in trouble. So don't feed a moose. And the big reason with that is if you start feeding wild animals, they expect it. So when they see another human, if I'm a moose and I see McKenna, I'm like, hey, where's my food? And she doesn't give it to me. I could attack her because I'm expecting it. So you don't want to feed wild animals. A couple other things you could do. So you want to walk away from a moose if they're just kind of snacking, they're not really interested in you. You know, walk around them. You wouldn't want to walk in between a moose and babies. So if I'm a mama moose and actually it's a little baby, and McKenna's trying to walk through me, I might think she's going to be mistake. So if you can, walk around them. Another option is to go another direction. Maybe there's another trail to your house or your friends, or also just sit and wait. There's been a couple times where I'm just stuck inside my house, and there's a moose at the front door, and I just kind of wait for it to mosey on. And this is just true when you're outside, maybe you're on a snow machine ride or you're playing. It's dark and they're big, and you can scare them and they can easily scare you. So just be aware of that. Dogs aren't too much of a concern. I mean, I definitely have one of my friendly neighborhood dogs I know, but they can be aggressive sometimes, so just be aware of that. And then there were two of you thinking about getting your permit for driving. These are something to think about, especially in our winter. Most car accidents happen in December, January, and February, and those are our longest, darkest months. And there are 250 on average every year on the Kenai Peninsula. So they're out there. They definitely pose a challenge when it's dark, icy, snowy, they're hard to see. Kind of like the person example, I was harder to see in black, and it's kind of like moose. You can't really see them. Sometimes you can see their eyes reflecting with your headlights. Maybe if you were driving and you were concerned to like, hey, there's a moose, you can try to see them, but they're pretty tricky, so that's something to be aware of. So it pretty much covers animal safety. Just to recap, we're big concerns are moose and dogs, mostly moose. But you can still have fun and enjoy what we've got to offer here in Alaska. Just be safe about it. So Ms. McKenna's going to wrap up and just get some action steps.
Okay. So, raise your hand if you play outside or do any outdoor activities in the winter time. Everyone's hands are raised. So this information applies to everyone here. And you can just kind of shout these out. What kind of things do you do outside in the winter time? Go ahead, just say it. Snowboard, sledding, snow machine riding, snowball fights, okay? So these are all good things and lots of people do them. The list that I came up with, just common things that I could think of were sledding, snow machine riding, you guys mentioned, maybe playing hockey, it's a good winter sport, play hockey. Ice fishing, a lot of people go ice fishing, skiing or snowboarding, and just general outside play or yard play, whatever you call that. So, some things to remember for these activities is wearing proper gear. And proper gear in the wintertime means hats, mittens, coats, snow pants, boots, having warm underwear, and clothes. So, you're going to stop and look at Brittany and Ashley. One of them is dressed appropriately for wintertime, and one of them is dressed inappropriately. So, which one's dressed appropriately? That's right. So you can see, she still looks fashionable. So dressing warm doesn't have to be ugly, and you're still cool if you dress warm. And you just want to make sure that you have warm layers, you have the scarf to protect your neck, your face if it's really windy. Your head is a good heat source, holds a lot of heat in your feet as well. So keeping those two body parts warm are really important. Whereas Brittany over here, which on the drive here this morning, I saw several kids waiting for the bus with this exact outfit on. This is not ideal. You're not going to stay warm. The sweatshirt is not waterproof if it's snowing or sleeting or whatever else weather Alaska decides to throw at us that day. It's going to get wet and then you're going to get cold. Her boots are not water resistant. They're pretty, but they're not ideal for winter. So just make sure, even though you don't think it's cool to dress warm in the winter, I never did it in school either. It is important, so you should. Okay. So, some more things to remember with these activities. Know your surroundings. Like Brittany said, there might be animals around, dogs, wild animals. Just know where you are and what's around you. Are you in a busy traffic area? Do you need to be aware of where the traffic is for the activity that you're in? And now we're going to get specific to each activity. So for sledding, when you're going down that hill, where's that path leading to? Are you going to end up out in the middle of the road? No. So are you going to go out to the middle of the road and when you go down that hill, or is it just go to a field that's safe and there's no animals or anything around that's going to get to you? And then when you're going down the hill, are there any hazards? Like, are you going to hit a jump and fly off your sled? Or is there a big ice jump that you could hit and hurt yourself? So just know what's in front of you in your path and be prepared for that. Maybe you'll need a helmet if you're planning to hit that big jump. So just be prepared for what's ahead of you in the path. For snow machining, you need to have helmets. You need to have appropriate gear, so you should be dressed like Ashley was a little warmer. When you're snowmobiling. And then you should probably have proper training on how to drive a snowmobile, so I don't think your parents are just going to let you jump on it. But if they did, maybe ask them to teach you how to drive it before they let you do that. And then if you're going on a trail, maybe away from the house, not just riding in your yard, you should try to have a friend or a parent or somebody with you. Never go alone, just in case something happens, you always make have help. Especially heavy. That's a good idea. That's awesome. You don't let her drive? Oh, okay. And then if you are going for a ride, like if you're going with your sister or if you're going with another friend, let parents or an older sibling or something know where you're going, when you're going to come home, so they can expect you. And they're probably still worried about you, but they won't be as worried if they know you're being there. It's really important for people to know where you are, what you're doing, where they can expect you to return home, and they can expect you to check in with them. And then also with snow machining, know what you're driving on. You could be driving on ice or ground, know what your conditions that you're driving on. And we're going to talk about safe ice thickness in just a few minutes when we get to ice fishing. So the next outdoor activity is hockey. So you said you're a hockey player, and some of you might not play hockey in school or like on a sports team, but you might play just for fun. And you could be playing outside on a pond or a lake or something that's frozen. So in that case, also be aware of the thickness of the ice and be aware of the surroundings again. Surroundings are really important. You need to know what's around you. Other people using the ice for ice fishing that you need to be careful you don't get out or skate into. Are there animals that are running around that could come trip you and you could end up getting hurt? So just know what's around you and be prepared for that. And then for indoor and outdoor hockey, wear protective equipment. You can probably list list this better than I can, but some things are helmets, shoulder pads, chest pads, padded shorts, cups, gloves, elbow pads, shin pads, and skates. Okay, so you just want to make sure that you're protecting yourself from any injury that can happen. Hockey can be a physical sport at times, so just protect yourself with that. And make sure that any of the equipment that you're wearing is not recalled or outdated and that it's safe for you and that it fits appropriately. And you can get help from a hockey coach or some of the folks in the stores where you get that to help make sure that it fits you properly and it's protected. And then dress appropriately goes with the equipment and otherwise just make sure you dress appropriately. So for ice fishing, we have a little chart on here, right here. So the general rule is 2 inches or less stay off. 4 inches of ice is considered safe for ice fishing or other activities on the foot. 4 inches. You should have at least 5 inches to have any snowmobile or ATV events. 8 to 12 inches should be safe for a car or a small bike, and 12 to 15 inches is safe for a moving truck. And then for ice fishing, bring the appropriate gear for fishing, scenes, and all that stuff. But also dress warmly and let somebody know your plan, just like with swim shoes. Ice fishing, although most of the time it's really safe, it can be dangerous. Most people do fall through the ice every year. So you just need to be aware of the thickness, be aware of the cold, dress warmly, bring the appropriate gear, and let somebody know your plan, like I said, when you're going to be returning, and where you're going next fishing, so if they want to check in with you, they can. For skiing and snowboarding, you should have proper fitting equipment, and you should have the proper gear, clothing, helmet, skis, or whatever the snowboard that you're using. And there's other safety stuff that you could use for skiing too, like it's your first time and you're going to fall a lot and you want to so just be prepared. And then for general outdoor or yard play, you guys listed some of these things like building forts, and snow angels, and snowball fights. You must be playing in safe areas. That's really important. So I kind of mentioned this earlier. You want to be away from vehicles, preferably in a fenced yard is like the safest place, but that's not always an option. You might be in an unfenced yard, and you can still that's safe. Just make sure if you're going to build a snow angel, you don't, or maybe some just with them. You don't lay down behind a parked car that mom or dad or your older sibling might go get in and try to back out of the driveway and not realize that you're behind it. So you always want to kind of think ahead before you do something. Like, okay, I'm going to build a snow angel. If I lay down on the ground right here, am I safe? Nothing's going to run me over or cross the path that you're laying. And then use common sense. So common sense is not always that common, but try to use it. If you're having a snowball fight, don't pick up a big ice chunk and throw it at your sister's face or your brother's face. That's obviously going to hurt them. So make sure that you hear that a lot. So that concludes our presentation. We have a small quiz that we're going to hand out some props for. And I also just want to mention that Safe Kids Kenai or Safe Kids Worldwide is a website online. You can go to Safe Kids, and that is a good source. They do car safety, winter safety, and all sorts of other presentations like this. And then before we get to our quiz, does anybody have any questions for us? So you can see on them the triangle is A, the square is B, and the circle is C. And there's just 10 questions that Brittany's going to read to you guys. So you can hold up the answer that you think is right. Don't look at your friends. Hold them all up at the same time.
I love it 'cause it's so good. I think if your last year still fits, you know, there's no big holes or maybe the knees are missing on your snow pants or something. I think if it still fits and it's still warm and it's not damaged from last year, I think that's fine. Sometimes it's hard to keep up on it when you're running so fast. Yes, I think they do. Yeah, that would probably be a better idea for a snow machine to go fast and you're not going for a while. That would be a good idea. Oh, good. That way they can help you out with it. Because they're hard to move. I'm glad you're okay. Question 1. What time of day are moose most active? A is early morning and evening, B is midday, or C is night. We're looking at each other's answers. There you go. So A is correct. They are most active in the early morning and evening. So what do you do if you see a moose when walking? Do you A, try to pet it, B, run away, or C, walk away slowly? That was a tricky one. Good job. So if you just see a moose, you walk away. But if the moose is charging you, you run. That was tricky. They do look pretty fuzzy, but I want to find one. During which winter sport should you wear a helmet? Snow machining, or A, B is snowboarding, or C, both of them? Good job. You should wear a helmet for both of them. So you're walking down the sidewalk alone and you see an unfamiliar dog. Do you A, run up to it, B, walk up to it, or C, avoid it? As tempting as it is to go pet the dog, I'm a dog number 2, you want to avoid an unfamiliar dog. You guys are doing good. So proper gear for hockey includes helmet, for A, B, padded gloves, or C, both of them. Good. And of course all the other gear we listed, but we didn't want to give you all the gear. So what is the minimum thickness for safe ice to walk or skate on? Ooh, gotcha here. So A is 4 inches, B is 1 inch, or C is 1 foot.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh. 2 or less stay off, but 4 is the least amount. But the least amount you can be on it and be okay. Always tricky. Check in, making sure you're listening. So the next one, what is the safest color to wear when walking in the dark? A, black, B, yellow, or C, white? So, where should reflective surfaces be present on someone when walking in the dark? On your shoes, or A. B, on all four sides of the person, or C, on the hood of your coat? Good. And I could kind of agree with you with having an extra one back there. Good job, guys. So what should you keep in your car during the winter? A, a flashlight, B, gloves, or C, both of them? All of them, good. And our last and final question. No, so much fun. Why is winter safety so important in Alaska? A, our extreme climate, B, our limited daylight, or C, both of them?
Fifth to eighth graders, let's give the ladies a hand for equipment exemption. Once you get back your entrance, there's wide page, much full of your chairs inside, and wide walker. I'll give you guys, this is Passing Business Fairway, has a website on it, and that's where your instructions go. At the top, it just says what has. Anybody else who looks at that website? Yeah, there you go. So thank you so much for coming. Do you guys need anything else to eat? All right, well, if you guys underneath, if you would do it again. Thanks so much.